Hello, my friends. I'm sitting here with David Gibbons at the RT Media Summit in Zhuhai, China, 2019. David, you started this thing in 2006?
Yep, that's right. 2006. We've been going now for 13 years, right?
Wow, that's just amazing. You know, David's also the publisher of RT Media Imaging World magazine, a fantastic magazine, and I'm grateful that you publish quite a bit of my content. I think there's about 40
Well, not only in
articles.
English, right? We also do it in Spanish, Chinese, Russian, and Arabic as well.
Wow.
And it goes around the world. We are publishing thousands of magazines every month in 5 languages.
Wow. Well, I got to ask you a question, David. You know, you're an Australian, and obviously you went on a walkabout, you headed north, and you ended up in China. What brought you to China?
Well, I started this business with Tony Lee, as we said, 13, 14 years ago. And but 8 years ago, I moved across here to help them out, expecting only to stay for a month or so. And 8.5 years later, I'm still here, married to a Chinese lady, and I think I've now made China home. But I've got a lot of family left in Australia as well.
Wow.
A mum that's 92, and 2 sons and 6 grandchildren and all sorts of things. So I get back to Australia quite regularly.
Well, you know, I noticed you travel all over the world, and you have these summits all over the world. I'm looking on the wall over here, and you got the 2020s all planned out. You're going to India this year. Tell us a little bit about this year's summit.
Yeah, well, we're going to be, Ray, we're going to be in 9 different cities next year around the world, and then we've got partner events as well. Our partner events are in India, as you say, in Bombay, and also in Russia, in Moscow. These are our partner events. But we're running our own, what we call VIP Expo events, Ray, and this is where we invite the top buyers in a city to meet with the top suppliers, not only from China, mainly from China, but also from the local region as well. And it's a very intensive 4-hour expo and then a 2-hour gala dinner.
Awesome.
And we're going to Lahore in Pakistan in January. In May, we're going to be in Manchester, UK, because they're dealing with Brexit and they're looking for new partners and opportunities. Then we're going to be in Paris. We're going to be in Amsterdam. And then, so that's May. June, we've got a big show, a China stationery fair in Shanghai. Then that takes us to July, and then we're coming to the Americas, and we're going to be starting off from Buenos Aires, and then for a 1-day VIP Expo event. Then we're going to Sao Paulo in Brazil, and then we head up to Lima in Peru. I'm going to try and remember all these places. Lima in Peru. That brings us to the end of July, and then October we're back here with our big show here in Zhuhai, China, the biggest show for this imaging industry in the world.
Wow.
And then, of course, in November, we're going to go to Africa, where our partner in Africa is going to take us to events in Nigeria, Ethiopia, and to Algeria, right in northern Africa. So we've got a very, very busy year. And of course, as you say, we're publishing magazines in 5 languages at the same time.
Well, you know, David's on Facebook, and I follow him, and you can tell he has a lot of travel points because he travels all over the world with his wife, too. So, David, I got to tell you, you know, this show, every time I come to it, it's just truly amazing, you know, the size and scope of it. So how many visitors did we have at the show?
Well, we're still counting them up on our hands and fingers and toes. We had around about 7,000 people just on day 1 turn up. So I haven't seen the figures for day 2, and it's only the beginning of day 3. So we expect to beat our record and have over 15,000 over the 3 days. So we're very excited about that. You know, 30,000 square meters, that's, I don't know, well, how many square feet is that? I guess that's, I don't know.
It's a boatload.
It's 300,000 square feet.
Wow, that's
what's that, the size of 5 football fields or something
crazy.
like that?
It's crazy.
It's super huge. Over 400 exhibitors, and this year, Ray, we've had 30 new exhibitors all bring printing devices. People are looking for new technologies and that sort of thing, so they can sell that to their customers. They don't want to just sell printing supplies, but you know, people getting excited about these machines that can print on your fingernails. And you know, the way we print today is different to the way we used to print.
Sure.
You know, we talk about page volumes declining, and that's true. But there are other things that are inclining. There are markets that are inclining, like China and Russia and India and South America. But as you pointed out in the summit, that may only be temporary, but there's a whole raft of other printing opportunities. And we've got 30 exhibitors here with a range of handheld, thermal, dot matrix, still dot matrix.
Some wide format printers, poster makers, all kinds of stuff.
Amazing range of printing devices here. And the companies are all fairly new OEMs, and they're ready to look for partners in countries overseas that will take these printing devices and sell them to their customers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, every time I come here, it's truly amazing. You know, China's a beautiful country. It's just amazing. The growth around this city is phenomenal. I think I counted 33 cranes when I went for my walk this morning. But David, I got to tell you, you know, I look forward to maybe next year we'll hook up again, and I got to, you know, end it as I always do, my friends. Status quo's the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and have a fantastic day.
Well,
Thanks
before
a lot,
you go,
David.
Ray,
Okay.
before you go, I'm going to interview you.
Oh, okay.
What's your big prediction for the next 12 months? What do you see on the horizon? You have the ability to stand up tall and see things that the rest of us lesser mortals cannot see, and you've been right in the past. You know, you predicted, even though you got a lot of flack over it, you predicted that HP and Xerox, you know, would combine, and people laughed at you 2 years ago here in China. So that's not possible. And there were Americans that were laughing at you as well. You know, they're eating humble pie today because, you know, we see the merger of these two amazing giants together. Anything else on the horizon?
Well, you know, as I said in my presentation yesterday, you know, you never know, but you know, today possibilities become probabilities quicker than ever. But you know, I think 9-Star has a long game. You know, they purchased Lexmark a few years back, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they further the relationship they have with Konica, or maybe they buy Konica Print. Who knows?
They definitely have a relationship.
Yeah.
That goes back to 2016,
Yeah.
and it's a bit secret at the moment. The fact that
Not anymore.
But we don't know the details of it, but we know that something's happening, and the very fact that we don't know the detail means that there's a lot more yet to emerge.
Sure.
So I think you might be right.
And you know, we have to have consolidation of manufacturers. You know, the other play is, you know, what does Foxconn do with Sharp? You know, Sharp copier divisions, if you pull the print piece out of that with all the rest of the components, if Foxconn kept all the components, pulled all the print pieces out, that represents probably 2% of their total revenue. They're a $200 billion company. Maybe 9-Star ends up with Sharp Print. They already got Lexmark, Konica, and then they got Konica's distribution. That would be pretty disruptive, wouldn't you say?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's a lot more disruption on its way, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Bring it on, I say, Ray.
That's right. You know. What do we say?
Otherwise, we're destined to become the status quo, and that means we've got one foot in the grave.
Yeah, pretty much. Things constantly change, you know.
Good.
So.
Thanks for the opportunity, Ray.
No problem, David. I appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you. And thanks for watching.